Okay, now I'm going to switch gears and go away from the point source world and major kind of industrial source world and talk about a few topics with regard to area sources. Area sources being those sources which are individually small but can add up to a lot across a non-attainment area. I'll talk about wood stoves and begin by mentioning that if you want information on wood stoves, the guy to call at OAQPS is Larry Brockman. And I'll talk a little bit about restaurants. I'll talk a little bit about land clearing, open burning, and home heating oil. EPA, OAQPS is doing a lot with respect to residential wood smoke in three general areas. First of all, and this is the earliest effort, was the Great American Wood Stove Changeout effort, which is a partnership program to try to replace older wood stoves with cleaner burning technologies. EPA's NSPS was revised in 1990 and led to much cleaner burning wood stoves. One particular pilot project or one particular area which has a very substantial replacement program is going on is in Libby, Montana, and that's achieving substantial reductions in wood smoke emissions. Two other areas worthy of mention are an area with respect to outdoor wood boilers, or what's also called outdoor wood hydronic heaters. EPA is assisting Northeast states who have developed a model rule, and we're in a partnership program with industry to try to bring cleaner units to the market. And we've recently embarked on a similar effort to the outdoor wood heaters project with respect to fireplaces. To date, the wood stove partnership programs have had a lot of success, and we've had more than 3,000 stoves changed out with these programs and substantial PM reductions, and we think we're just getting started with these. Okay, next category I wanted to talk about a little bit was restaurants. Perhaps counterintuitively, commercial cooking shows up significantly in emissions inventories in non-attainment areas. We took a look at 16 eastern non-attainment areas, and for total PM, commercial cooking showed up as a few percent of the inventory, and for organic carbon, which is significant in urban excesses of air quality levels, showed up as 6 to 12%. The emission inventory for commercial cooking basically is three-pronged. First, conveyorized or similar to Burger King grilling, under fire charbroiling, which is 75%, and other methods such as on griddles, deep frying, which is another 15%. For conveyorized charbroilers, such as the Burger King type operations, catalyst controls are readily available, and these have been regulated by agencies starting with the South Coast in 1997 and more recently other California agencies. But these controls are also in place at many corporate-owned Burger Kings, and so definitely this is an available technology. For under-fire grilling, it's more difficult to control the emissions because the flow rates are higher and the temperatures are lower. And so the conditions are such that catalytic controls, which are available for the chain-driven enclosed charbroilers like Burger King, those kind of catalyst controls don't work without a lot of excess sort of heat supplied, and which would affect the feasibility. But other types of control technologies have been looked at by the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, and whereas they have not succeeded in finalizing a rule, they proposed a rule and put together a staff report looking at that. So if there's interest in this, I would definitely look to the Bay Area information for the latest information on that at this point. Land clearing, open burning is a category of PM emission sources which is controllable. For example, the state of Washington bans land clearing, open burning in what they call urban growth areas. In EPA's regulatory impact analyses, we developed cost estimates for basically landfilling the debris rather than burning it. Also worthy of note in land clearing, open burning is the 1997 EPA report you may want to look at, which evaluated the effectiveness of the air curtain technology and found that it was really inconclusive the degree of PM control from that type of operation. Okay, so now I've talked about point sources. I've talked about a few area source candidate measures, and now I'd like to talk fairly generally about some controls for mobile sources, cars, trucks, non-road, those types of things. The contact, and I've taken these slides from mobile sources. I've excerpted them from a talk which Gary Dulce of our Office of Transportation and Air Quality gave in a Chicago workshop in 1997. And Gary is definitely the best contact for that type of information to start with, and he can point you to many others within our Office of Transportation and Air Quality. The types of mobile source measures that are most often mentioned are federal measures for new equipment and other measures for existing equipment, such as long duration idling reduction programs for trucks and locomotives, retrofit technology for existing diesel engines, commuter projects, and SmartWay projects. Federal measures will have, for new engines, apply stringent control technologies to those new engines, and as the fleet is turned over and as the population of engines becomes more and more due to those that have these new engines, then you see reductions with time with the fleet turnover. In 2006 and in 2007, measures applied to heavy-duty highway diesel trucks, and you can see there's a phased-in effort for non-road diesel that will take place over the upcoming years. The effect of these federal measures and the turnover of engines that will result will lead to significant reductions in overall PM emissions from both highway and non-road sources, as indicated on this slide. There's a lot of opportunities for reductions in reducing emissions from long-duration truck idling. There's 500,000 to 1 million heavy-duty idling trucks on the road, and the average period for idling for those currently is 1,800 to 2,400 hours per year. Locations for this idling, public rest areas, private truck stops, and the like. EPA issued guidance on long-duration truck idling in January 2004, focusing on measures and the emissions quantification for those measures and many important issues. So refer to that guidance for a lot of information on the emission reductions creditable for measures such as truck stop electrification and auxiliary power units. Similarly to the truck idling, there's opportunity for reductions from locomotives. And the area of concentration for EPA guidance on and efforts on this are locomotive switch yards. There's about 5,000 locomotive switchers in the nation, and with averaging idling times of thousands of hours per year. And EPA guidance on many issues related to the creditable emissions and quantification methods and the like is available. And similar to the truck idling programs, it's measures such as electrification and auxiliary power units. diesel retrofit, because diesel engines are designed to last many decades, the existing diesel engine fleet will be a substantial part of the overall diesel emissions inventory for many years to come. And so there are opportunities for reductions and will continue to be opportunities for reductions. And diesel retrofits are a cost-effective way to reduce PM and other pollutant emissions. Federal funding has been significant in leading to public funding of diesel retrofit programs for many sources. And now, under the Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Program, these retrofit funding can also apply to non-road engines as well as on-road engines such as buses and the like. EPA's Clean Diesel campaign seeks to reduce emissions from the diesel engine fleet, and it's substantial, 11 million diesel engines. The components of that program include technology verification, and which includes efforts both by EPA and California, and a rigorous program to identify the technologies that can work on these engines, and then to work on funding programs to make the maximum use of public funds to leverage the greatest degree of application of this retrofit technology. Guidance that clarifies a number of issues related to diesel retrofits and its applicability to SIP programs was released in June of 2006. Guidance is also available for commuter programs, and EPA guidance issued in October 2005 discusses our best workplaces for commuters program and issues that related to programs such as employer-paid transit passes, van pools, and telework, and the like. A guidance effort is also underway for EPA's Smart Way program, which applies to trucks with certain types of aerodynamic devices and low rolling resistance tires. Whereas this guidance addresses creditable NOx reductions, it does not reduce PM. So all of that's a very quick summary of a number of creditable mobile source control measures. There's a lot of issues related to that, and if you're interested in any of those, the website indicated on this slide is where you can obtain the guidance documents and read about these technologies and how EPA views this. If you're considering control technologies not covered by guidance document, it's important to contact the EPA regional office early in the SIP development process to ensure whether or not those are likely to be creditable emission reductions towards a non-attainment plan. Okay, now I've talked about control measures for point, area, and mobile sources to some degree. And I mentioned early on in this talk that EPA wants to promote information sharing as additional information is generated. And so there are a number of resources that are currently available. There's when NACA was called STAPO-LAPCO, they put out a document called the Menu of Options for Control of PM and Precursors. The EPA has a website where we're trying to put links to what we consider useful efforts on control measures. Currently on our site, we have links to some information from New Jersey, California, the Ozone Transport Commission, LADCO, and South Coast. Where EPA also had a project to put together summary tables of control measures for PM and precursors. The summary tables are discussed in this slide. Basically, these are essentially spreadsheets with one line for each measure, not discussing the measure in detail, but listing the costs, the reductions, and the references for further of information. This is intended as a complement to other sources of information. We're going to put this up on our website and definitely want your feedback, any measures that may be either incorrectly described or any missing measures you might have are of particular interest to that effort. New Jersey, within the last few years, has had an effort called Reducing Air Pollution Together, which has stakeholder work groups to discuss ideas for ways to reduce air pollutants from certain sectors, including a work group called the Diesel Initiatives Work Group, another one addressing emissions from gasoline cars and trucks, another work group on homes and restaurants, non-automotive gasoline engines, stationary combustion source, and VOC sources. So these 6 work groups have put together reports on the ideas that were generated by those stakeholder groups and whether the stakeholder groups considered them to be more or less promising measures. And so that's definitely a source of fairly interesting information on control measures. The Lake Michigan Air Directors Consortium put together 14 documents they call white papers that address a number of categories of emission sources. The South Coast Air Quality Management District's AQMP, or Air Quality Management Plan, is available on their website and addresses a number of control technology issues and was recently modified. Additionally, the Ozone Transport Commission has evaluated candidate control measures, and their website has their technical support documents for those efforts. Whereas fugitive dust, that is, sources such as ag tilling and construction sources and roadway dust, storage piles, that sort of thing, it typically is in the coarse fraction of PM. There may be situations where they find PM may be worthy of evaluation as candidate measures. And one of the best sources of information on that is by the Western Regional Air Partnership, or WRAP. On their website, they're an excellent resource for controls and cost information for a number of these fugitive dust categories. So, in summary, I want to give us as a central message to this talk that local measures are available, candidates are available. The types of measures that are important or worthy of investigation will probably vary from area to area, depending on the nature of the source population in the area, the nature of the severity of the non-attainment problem. And again, I emphasize that the types of examples that were given in this talk are not intended to be exhaustive lists, and we're trying to work with agencies who are identifying measures to help share the information and help to get the information you need to address measures in your state implementation plans. So that concludes my talk on candidate control measures. If you have any questions or comments, you have my contact information, and please don't hesitate to call me at any time.
For additional information, please see the following websites. Our first website is Fine Particle Standard Implementation Issues. The second website contains more detailed presentations from our June 2007 workshop in Chicago. Our third website has information on our fine particle standards. And our fourth website contains additional control technology information. In addition, we've provided Rich and Tim's emails, and they will be happy to follow up with you on any questions you may have based on these presentations today. Thank you for participating, and we hope you found today's broadcast helpful. Have a great day.